All right, so today we have the Digital Marketing Masterclass on SEO. Thank you for watching, and today I will deliver incredible value for you and share some things that and some perspectives that you haven't heard of before. There's a lot of articles out there, a lot of content about SEO, and usually it falls under the technical realm. So they'll talk about title tags, meta tags, your sitemap, XML file, Google Search Console. But those things, they're just, those are the tactical things. But I think what people are missing is the bigger strategy and the bigger picture. And that's what today I aim to explain, and also to answer a few questions that I've heard again and again. And those questions are, well, how many pages of content do I need to rank at the top for my keyword or to beat my competition? How many backlinks do I need to beat out my competition? And oftentimes the answers that I would see is, well, it depends. Well, you really don't know. And I'm here to tell you that no, there is an answer for that. And today I'm going to help you figure out what's the answer for that for your industry and for your business, and what it will take to outrank your competitors. Okay, so who is this masterclass for? It's really for anybody that has a website, so SMBs, SaaS startups, personal brands such as coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, web designers, web developers, creatives, local businesses, professional services, real estate, insurance, and health and fitness. And I'm sure there's a few other industries and categories out there that I'm forgetting, but pretty much anybody with a website I think can benefit vastly from this information. So today I am going to, this is the agenda for today's masterclass. We're not going to have meet and greet because this is pre-recorded for today's, but I will introduce myself and share a little bit about me. And also in today's training, what we're going to cover is what's my number one rule for marketing success, understanding the SEO game from a high level, and also some SEO mastery secrets. That includes programmatic SEO, which is using code to automate the process of creating a lot of SEO pages. And I'm talking about like millions of pages. I'm going to share with you how that's done. Leveraging Google Images, which I think is very undervalued and underrated. And I think it's an incredible tool for just getting your brand imprinted on people for free. And leveraging AI to automate the SEO and content creation process. And then finally, I'm going to explain how you can spy on your competitors' content and analyze their content strategy. And also to answer the question, how many pages of content that you need in order to rank well for your website. And also how many backlinks that you would need to rank well as well. And again, by ranking well, I mean beating out your top competitors. And lastly, if you stick around, I have a free gift for you. A couple actually. So definitely you want to watch to the very end, because in addition to these free gifts that I'm going to give you, you're going to learn stuff that nobody else is going to be is sharing, or at least at the time of this video, I haven't seen it yet. Most of the stuff that I read, it's fairly basic technical stuff. Okay, so who am I? My name is Ryan, and I was a full stack developer. That wasn't really what they called it back then, but basically I did front end as well as back end. That was over 10 years ago, and I switched over to doing digital marketing. And the last 7 years, I ran a press release distribution business and sold over $3 million of press release services and earned a bunch of G2 awards along the way. Was mentioned by HubSpot, Shopify, the United States Small Business Administration, and a bunch of other places. And SEO, search engine optimization, was a huge part of the marketing strategy in acquiring clients. And I've throughout the business, I've served over 8,000 clients. And I'm about to share some of those secrets that I've used and deployed to my own business with you right here today. Okay, so I want to go over what I consider the number one rule for marketing success. And that is this understanding, because with certain things like SEO, people think, oh, if I just get all the technical things right, if my page speed is that much faster, they think that it's going to lead to like there's some kind of magical thing there. And I'm here to tell you there's absolutely not. I mean, the magic is really in the doing. It is a cause and effect relationship. And I'm going to use this analogy as far as I think something that most of us can relate to is having a fitness goal, whether it's to lose weight or to lose weight and gain muscle. So if let's say we could take anybody, and if we actually measured how much they ate, like put on a scale, and and then for the next 3 months, 6 months, we take away 30%. So every meal is 30% less that they will eat, and we have them walk 2 miles every day, then I promise you that person will lose weight. Like there is no ifs or buts around that. They will lose weight. And if we add an additional hour of weightlifting every day, it doesn't even have to be every day, it could be like even 3 times a week. Then they're also going to gain muscle mass on top of losing fat. And here's the thing. Now, I think most of us have had these fitness goals and have worked towards them at one time or another. So intrinsically, like it is true. And if let's say somebody like stuck with this for 3 to 6 months, it will actually become ridiculous if they didn't lose weight or if they have gotten weaker. Like imagine if you ate 30% less every single day and you maintain that for 3 to 6 months and you walked 2 miles every day and you weightlifted. Like imagine you got fatter and weaker. Like that would make no sense, right? So take that and we're going to apply it to SEO. And the biggest takeaway with my number one rule of marketing success is certain inputs will always lead to certain predictable outcomes. Not exactly how how precise those outcomes are, that can vary. But the point is certain inputs will lead to certain outputs. It is a cause and effect relationship. And I want that to be extremely clear. There is no magic. The magic is in the execution and the implementation of these things. But I have noticed in the SEO space, there's one big problem, and the problem is there's so much just BS and misinformation. In fact, I remember as a kid, well, not as a kid, but as a late teenager and early 20s, Google had this guy, Matt Cutts. Now, I like the guy, but he was the head of search spam at Google, and he will always come out and make these statements saying, hey, our algorithm have changed, and these things don't work. These things, you should follow these guidelines. Don't do these things because they don't work. And I've ran like experiments and which went contrary to what even he said, and he's from Google. And some of that stuff was around duplicate content. There are actually many exceptions to duplicate content. For example, websites that have recipes, song lyrics, product descriptions. You can actually have a lot of duplicate content where it literally duplicates the content of another website and it will still rank well. Now, those experiments were from probably over 8 years ago, but that was what they were saying at the time. So now the algorithm, I haven't done any recent experiments about that. But my point is there's a lot of bad information out there. And also the even worse, like the majority of people that write about SEO, if you looked at what click into their bio and what they did, they're writers, they're technical writers. So they have never even like done SEO. Maybe they've edited some title tags and some meta tags and said that's SEO, and that's kind of like, well, that's just like barely touching like the very tip of the iceberg. The iceberg can't, if this is the iceberg, they're like right here. Or they are working on high level SEO stuff, but they are just one cog in the giant machines. For example, they may be a programmer working on a giant programmatic SEO project, but what they're working on is like the sitemap or a directory. So it's one small cog in a much larger machine, so they don't have the full picture. I've been doing SEO since early an early teenager. I actually ran one of the largest Dragon Ball Z websites in the world at that time. And Funimation, the company that owns the license for Dragon Ball Z, actually started contacting me and started sending me the DVDs and some of the video games like a week or two before it was like released to the public. So, which is really cool. But SEO, I've been doing it for like decades. Yeah, 2 decades now. So a very long time. And and today I'm going to share the science behind SEO and also what some of these secrets of SEO mastery are. So let's go. So let's understand the SEO game from a high level. So fundamentally, we have on-site SEO and off-site SEO. On-site SEO is everything that you do on your website. So that is your content, and all these like technical things. But for the most part, the core of it is your content. And off-site SEO, again, there's like certain things that are technical, but just for the just understanding this, it's backlinks pretty much, or websites that link back to your website. Now, I want to use a certain analogy with like arrows or darts. So think of for on-site SEO, every single page that you have is an entry point for somebody to find out about your website, to find out about your business. So think of every page or every article as an arrow that you're firing. The more arrows that you have that you're firing out, the more likely you will land on the target. Now, that's on-site SEO. But these arrows, they're not the strongest things. So you want to level up these arrows so that way, or darts, so that way they travel far and powerful when it lands. And so to level up these arrows, you need backlinks, and that's off-site SEO. So you got on-site SEO, content, arrows, and then you got off-site SEO, which is backlinks, the process of leveling up those arrows. So with the game of SEO game, with on-site SEO, look, you can have terrible marksmanship if you have enough quantity. So if you are, let's say you only have like 2 arrows, right? Well, you you need to be a very good marksman, like, because if they don't land, or even like 5, 10 arrows, right? I mean, if the target is far enough, like none of them may just land. But if you have 1,000 arrows, then you have a lot more leeway. And in fact, you can miss the first like couple hundred. They could completely miss, and you still have enough arrows where you will land some. And I like this analogy because oftentimes I've met a lot of business owners in the past who they would start writing stuff, but they think that it's not good enough in terms of quality, because there are so many people out there that are like, it's quality over quantity. You need to good content will be shared, and yeah, that's true. There's a lot of truth to that, but I think for most businesses, they just don't even start, or they start with like 5, 10, 20, 30 articles, and that's it. And then they become, it's they lose morale. They become discouraged, and then they just like stop. And I think it should be the opposite approach, where the quantity breeds quality, meaning that if you have, let's say, 1,000 pieces of content, well, look, not now you have like 900 of those pieces of content or more could be complete garbage, but you have 100 that's good. And the other thing that I think it's also very important to understand is, just because you, as the business owner, as the business operator, as the person working inside the business, just because you think it is not high quality, because you think perhaps this is just very rudimentary stuff, this is very basic stuff, maybe for your prospects, they don't know well, I mean, for sure, they don't know nearly as much as you about your business or your product. So they could be, from your vantage point, a complete noob. So just having a very in-depth article where you spend like, 20, 30 hours on it, that may just go over the head versus the one that you spent like, 30 minutes on. That is probably a lot more digestible for them, and they may actually find more value from that. I've been making a lot of YouTube videos in the past, and I can say certain videos like got way where I didn't even spend time on it, like how to take a screenshot on a Mac, got a lot more engagement and views than some of the ones where it was highly technical and and I spent a lot of time on. So the arbiter of quality shouldn't even be you. It's your users. And I think these days Google actually does a very good job at testing different articles that you have, testing different pages, and seeing how users engage with those pages. And furthermore, let's say you have 1,000 pages on your website, and Google maybe they only index 100 of those pages, and out of those 100 they start playing with some of them, and then maybe only like 10 pages actually out of 1,000 actually start ranking really well. Well, now you can go back to those pages and edit those pages, add more stuff to it. Maybe you want to add video to it, add pictures, add infographics, so that way you're adding more value to the pages that people are already clicking on. You can refine those pages. So with on-site SEO, I would go for, I mean, you have to maintain a baseline level of quality, but my point is, don't let the quality thing stop you, because I've seen that happen so many times in the past. So that's that's on-site SEO. Let's move on to off-site SEO. So wouldn't it be nice if you can make all these arrows, are darts that you're throwing out there? Wouldn't it be nice if you can level up your throwing, level up the bow that you're using to fire those arrows, so perhaps they explode on contact, traveling twice the speed? That would be nice, right? And that's exactly what off-site SEO or link building is for. So the more powerful backlinks that, or websites that link back to your website, the higher it will make every single page across your website rank. And it's, think of it as a web, right? So you have websites that have a higher domain authority or a domain rating going back to your website. So a website with a higher domain rating or domain authority will, and I'll explain what those are in a moment. They're more powerful than, let's say, two backlinks with lower domain ratings or domain authorities going back to your website. And the way that that's calculated is, well, let's say that your website starts off with only a few backlinks, right? So your website's domain authority or domain rating is low, but as you get more and more backlinks that have a higher domain authority or domain rating going back to linking back to your website's domain rating or domain authority will go up. And the way the websites that link back to you, how their domain authority is calculated is the same way. Basically, other websites link it back to them. So it's this giant web, this giant matrix, essentially, of how how domain authority and domain rating is calculated. And that is the benchmark of how powerful those backlinks are, how powerful the leveling up process of your arrows or darts that you're firing are. So now, what is domain authority and domain rating? So in the past, Google had their own algorithm that they shared with the public called PageRank. And for the longest time, I thought it was named because it ranks the pages on your website. Turns out it's actually named after Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, so PageRank. However, a long time ago, they removed that so people can't see it anymore. But basically, it was a point system from 0 to 10, and it was based on a logarithmic scale, meaning that going from a 7 to an 8 or like from a 4 to a 5, it wasn't linearly more, it was magnitudes more. But they got rid of that. Well, I mean, they didn't get rid of it, they still use it. And now they have all sorts of other algorithms that they use, but it's no longer accessible to the public. So, out of a demand, there are two companies that kind of stepped up. First, it was Moz, and they created this thing called domain authority. So when people say how much authority are in your backlinks, how what's the domain authority, that's where it's from. So it's a proxy metric. So they basically have recreated effectively their version of PageRank, and they share it with the public. So that's domain authority. And page authority. So DAPA, that's what it's usually in reference to when it comes to search engine optimization. And then there was another company called Ahrefs, which is really spelled ahrefs.com, and they've created a similar metric called domain rating, or DR. And then the page version of that is page rating, or PR. And the difference between domain rating and page rating, or domain authority and page authority, is domain authority covers the whole domain name. So that applies to the whole website. Page authority is a very specific page. So your homepage, a certain article, etc. Okay, so oops, not quite there yet. So this is the game of offsite SEO. It is the process of link building, and typically with link building, you can have links go back to your website from earned media. For example, if you show up to become a guest on someone's podcast and they have a landing page for that, if you are guest posting on someone else's website, if you're sending out press releases, all of these are different ways of getting backlinks and doing link building. So for the more links you have, the better it is as far as how effectively your pages rank. So let me give you an example. So let's say a website has 1,000 pages, right? But no backlinks. Well, those 1,000 pages will probably never see the light of day. But if we have many backlinks coming in, and now it moves to, let's say, a domain authority of 20. Well, now some of these pages will start probably ranking on pages 2 and 3 on Google, maybe some of those even higher than that. But what if this website, this business owner works on the SEO for a long time, and now it's a domain authority of 60 or 70. Well, now perhaps half of those pages will rank on the first page now of Google. So the increase in domain authority or domain rating, again, these are proxy metrics. These are metrics determined by Google, but it's kind of like a litmus test that, it's like having access to Google's algorithm without actually having access to Google's algorithm. So the goal is to have a lot of content on site SEO, and then raising the effectiveness of that content. So that's offsite SEO with link building, okay? Okay, so now those are, I would say, the fundamentals of SEO explained in a way hopefully that's very digestible and easy to grasp, and it's not all this title tags, H1 tags, H2 tags, keyword density, .xml file, robots.txt file, Google Search Console, Google Analytics, because all that stuff can be overwhelming, but I think the best point to start with is understand the bigger picture, because once you understand the bigger picture, then the technical stuff will kind of just fall into place as you're learning. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of word vomit, essentially, just jargon. Okay, now let me share with you some higher level SEO mastery secrets. The first is programmatic SEO. So what is programmatic SEO? Well, that's actually kind of where I got my tagline, the programmatic marketer, from. It is the process of using programming for your marketing, for your search engine optimization. And this is more specifically to the on-site SEO portion of SEO. And here's an example. So you've probably have searched for a property address in the past. And perhaps you're renting, perhaps you're looking to buy a home, and you're searching for multiple addresses, and you're like, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, all these types keep showing up again and again. Now there are probably tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of home properties in America, and frankly, where you live as well. It's probably in the millions. And like, is there somebody that's actually creating a page for every single home out there? And the short answer is no. That would be very. I mean, I don't even think you can do it. I mean, maybe with enough like manpower, but the results will be um there'll also be a lot of human error as well. So the way it's done is it's done through programmatic SEO. So if we look at this example here, this is just, I picked the 3D home virtual tours section, and they have a lot of different sections on like Zillow's website. Just happens to be one of them. So if we look at the left side, this is the sitemap XML file, and this is a file of every single page that is on your website, and you submit this to Google. Now, some websites, especially larger websites, they actually have many sitemap XML files, and then they would submit each of these to Google. So this is actually just one sitemap out of a larger collection of sitemaps. But if you look here, after Zillow.com, you'll see that there is a location. So it's like a city, and then the state's initials, and then slash 3D dash home dash virtual dash tours. And those are so basically what they're doing is they have a database effectively of the different cities and states, and they're just looping through all of them using code. And that's the same with every single property address as well. So if we look on the right side here, they probably have a table. Now they're really big, very, very big size. So they probably employ something like database sharding, where it's many database servers that are talking to each other, and they probably have many, many tables within the database that are just joined together. But for simplicity's sake, think of like a spreadsheet, which is a database table effectively. And one column may have the address, another column will have the state, another column will have the zip code, another will have number of bedrooms, another will have number of bathrooms, square footage, price, and so forth. So each of these are variables. And then in the actual code of the page, it's kind of like a mail merge, where you have a master template, and then you're programmatically, each of these variables, depending on which page they land on, will just get swapped out. So every row in their database basically becomes a different page, as far as for Google and for the users. Now, most of these pages are for, let's be very clear, there's a reason why they're submitted, including in their sitemap. It's for Google, it's for SEO. Now, of course, it's useful for the users as well, but this is a huge part. Like Zillow is deploying a lot of programmatic SEO, and a lot of big sites do this. So this is one of the SEO mastery secrets, programmatic SEO. And this is just one implementation of that. There are so many implementations out there. And I actually have an advanced SEO strategies masterclass that covers some of these various programmatic SEO strategies, and also it's free. And stay tuned. I will talk more about that. Okay, the next SEO mastery secret. I think Google Images is one of the most underrated tools that people just don't even leverage. Now, I typed in PR distribution, which is it's a generic keyword, but it's also the name of the business that I founded and ran. And notice that if they click on Google Images, the logo, the name gets repeated a bunch of times. So each of those times, it's an opportunity to imprint your branding onto somebody. And it's all free. It's just a matter of like putting your brand on your pictures. So whether the images are assets for the articles on your website, for the blogs on your website, or they go onto other people's website where you're guest posting, or where they talk about you, or you're using on social media, each time your logo is on there, it's another opportunity to get your branding out there. And it's free branding in terms of like impressions and clicks. So I would very much leverage this because it's free, and it's a great way of building out your brand and really getting out there without frankly paying for impressions. Okay, the next SEO mastery secret is leveraging AI automation for content creation. So let me walk through a certain workflow that I think is very standard across high level, and I guess not so high level as well, just content creation, content for SEO. So usually you start off with research. So you'll research either a certain like set of keywords or a certain set of competitors, and as you research keywords and competitors, you can use that to discover topics, discover long tail keywords. And long tail keywords are pretty much like keywords where they're long and people aren't necessarily, and each of those are not necessarily gaining a lot of searches, but if you have a long list of long tail keywords, then they start adding up. So you're attacking the niches basically. Product names, I think that's very relevant for like e-commerce websites. Is if you're selling, let's say, um, printer inks or something like that, then it would be advantageous to you to have literally every single printer maker, printer model, and ink color available to be searched, and also the serial number for each of those ink cartridge products. And that also is a form of long tail keywords. Another kind of, as far as keyword type is geolocation. So what geolocation is, for example, if you are an HVAC service operating in the San Fernando Valley, then your keywords could be Van Nuys HVAC services, North Hollywood HVAC services, Hollywood HVAC services, and so forth. And you would just list out all of the different cities or neighborhoods within the vicinity that you service, and also the service or services that you provide. Okay, so the next step here is after you've done your research and also after you picked out your keywords, then you would go with the prompt automation. Now, in the era before AI, you still would do these first two steps. However, you would then go on, let's say, Upwork or Freelancer or one of these sourcing websites where you can source for people to do basically knowledge work for you. And you will hire a writer, and the cost can be anywhere. I've paid anywhere from $15 to $35 for an article to be written. I guess in some cases I got it for cheaper than that, but as far as having just quality stuff, that would be a very normal price range. And I've also worked at companies where they paid like $150 per article. So the price really varies, but basically you're working with people, and I would say the average turnaround is anywhere from 24 hours to like a couple of days. That's what you would expect per article. Now, if you give them, let's say 10, then maybe it'll take them like a week or two, and then they'll deliver all 10 to you. But now with I mean, it's just a matter of giving them prompt. Now with people, you still had to give them a prompt. They were just called instructions or directions. With AI, those instructions, it's called a prompt. And in the prompt, what you will provide to the ChatGPT or Claude AI or Bard, I think ChatGPT does a lot better job than some of the other AI services for content writing, is you would tell it what your brand is. So the name of your company, a little bit about your company, what it does, some instructions as far as how you want it to be written, whether you want bullet points, you want like headings, how many paragraphs, so the instructions, and then the dynamic keyword. So let's say you need 100 pages of content. Well, you've created a list of, let's say, 100 keywords. Now you just swap out the dynamic keyword or the topic, so that way you have 100 different articles, and also any additional context that you want to pass it. So for example, phone numbers, email addresses, how to get started, how to get in touch, the next step, that kind of stuff. So you want to provide all that information as part of your prompt, and then the AI will deliver back to you your article. And once you have your article, you can schedule it and publish that onto WordPress or your custom CMS of choice. CMS being content management system. And and that's not it. You still need an image, a featured image, right? So I like Pexels.com because it's royalty free stock photos and there's a nice collection, but there's other ones as well. Go to ryanhuang.io/tools and then look for stock photos. I'll include links to a bunch of free ones out there. Now, once you download the stock photo, that's not really just it. You still need to kind of crop it to a square because and I like cropping it to a square, or at the very least, if it's very long or very tall, I like kind of cropping it close to a square because now I can reuse that for social media. Also, I don't think Pexels requires it, but some of the other free or royalty free stock photo websites do, is you got to add credits. And I like adding credits anyways because I think even if it's not required, because if they're doing that, taking giving you free stuff, I mean, it's just right. So I like including like a tiny little credits on the bottom for many of the stock photos, with the exception of if I'm like paying for them, I guess. And also adding your branding on the photo, so your logo, pretty much. If you're adding your logo onto the picture, like, give them credit. I mean, it's only right. And now you have the accompanying image, so you will upload that to your article, and that is kind of the workflow for leveraging AI automation to create your content. Now, you can actually automate this whole like sequence, or at least the majority of it. If you're interested in that, I do offer more high level stuff. You can get in touch with me if that's something that you're interested in. But this, for the most part, I think will takes probably maybe like altogether 10-15 minutes for each article, and then as you do more, you're gonna get more efficient with it. But this is the tool that will help you with um, that you can tangibly take away from this masterclass and start implementing on producing your on-site SEO. Okay. Again, this is the biggest takeaway here, along with the next part that I'm about to answer for you. Okay, so the next part is the comparative research, and we're going to answer some very big questions here that I have not seen answered really anywhere else on the internet. And that is, so how many content pages do I need to be number one? How many backlinks do I need to be number one? Like, what will it take for me to rank number one for my keyword? And I'm here to share with you how you can find out the exact answer, or it's pretty darn close to being exact. Okay, so what I want you to do is, and you can do this now, follow along, or you can just digest the information and do it after. Whatever your primary keyword is, search for that, and then look for the first like 5 or 10 competitors that show up in the search results. Ignore the ones that says like sponsored, because those are paid ads. Those are not organic results. And also, you might run into websites like Wikipedia, like certain directory websites like Yelp. If you run to those, they're leveraging user-generated content or programmatic SEO, or many of those, and they typically, so ignore those. Go with the ones that are like direct competitors of yours. So once you've compiled a list of like 5 to 10, then what I want you to do is take the domain name, so whatever the .com or .net is, get rid of the stuff at the end of it and put /sitemap.xml. Some of them will actually hide it, but I would say especially smaller businesses, they either don't have a sitemap or it's not hidden. I mean, that's usually very advanced players in the SEO space. They might try to hide the sitemaps, but a lot of them do not. In this example, I'm going to show you something you can do with, you want to do this with each of your competitors, okay? So find out their sitemap and then go to it, and you can actually, it'll look something like this, and you can actually go through and see like what every article is that they have. So I use Shopify as an example. So on Shopify sitemap, you can take a look by going to shopify.com/sitemap.xml. I can because by if you actually see like every article that they have, you can start in your head like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. So you're basically reverse engineering their content strategy, and then you can apply that to what you're doing. So one thing that's interesting is if I had, let's say, an e-commerce software as a service product and I wanted to compete in the space, I would look at what Shopify is doing. Oh, they're doing like competitor comparisons. And not only are they comparing a competitor to themselves, they're actually comparing competitors to competitors, and then they're inserting themselves into the picture. So they are basically riding the coattails their of their larger competitors. And now I would say they are the large competitor, but but for sure, like WooCommerce, Magento, they came before Shopify. And I think there's that saying about standing on the shoulders of giants. And so that's kind of what they're doing. So that's how, this is an example of me analyzing their sitemap file and discovering strategies that they are using for their content strategy. And also, I can determine that how many pages that they have. Now, again, some of these companies, they could actually hide this information, but most of them don't. I would say 98% of websites do not hide it. They either don't have a sitemap, which surprisingly, it's a lot that smaller sites that they just don't have it, or it's out there in plain view. And when I analyzed Shopify's sitemap, they had over 16,000 pages. So if I was to get into this space, that's like the bare minimum threshold I would need to clear in order to rank number one. So what I and I will actually show you this tool. I mean, you can count it manually, but I mean it's very painstaking. So what you want to do is take the top 5 or 10 competitors, figure out how many pages every single one of them have, and then aim to target. So the one with the most pages, aim to be that one. Because here's the thing, they already have a first mover's advantage. Their website, their pages, their articles have already been indexed far longer than yours. So for you to beat them, you need to beat the one that has done the most. Now you don't have to. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but that is, I would say, if you want to play it safe, at least like beat the average of the 5 or 10, okay, top competitors in your space. That should be the minimum threshold to aim for that many pieces of content. But let's say that, like you may think that, hey, 100, 200 pages, I have a lot of content, and then you find out like Shopify has 1,600 pages. Well, then your 200 pages, it's actually not a lot at all, and you will actually like you won't even come close to like beating them, right? So hopefully this, by you running this analysis for the websites, your competitors, there's your answer pretty much as far as how many pages of content that you need in order to rank number one. And to make your life a lot easier, there are a lot of tools, and with SEO tools, they break all the time, and then I gotta find new tools. But if you go to ryanhuang.io/tools and look for a sitemap counter, I will provide the link for this tool. So pretty much you just, give it the sitemap.xml file. I mean, go there, make sure it exists first, and then paste it, and then open the tool, and then paste it in and click on count pages, and it will tell you exactly how many pages that they have. And with my collection of tools, I will, again, I mean, with SEO tools, sometimes it works one day, and then 4 months later, it's broken. I gotta find another tool, and there's a lot of tools out there that are just not that good. So I will keep this up to date with the best tools available out there to give you a competitive strategy. And all of this is like free to access. You just have to, yeah, just go there, and the tool is there for you. Okay, so that's how many number of pages that you need. Remember earlier I was talking about domain authority and domain rating? Well, this tool, the domain rating checker, again, you can go to ryanhuang.io/tools and just look for this icon and search this name, and then you can go to this tool where you can put in a website URL, and it will give you the domain rating, how many backlinks they have, and how many linking websites that they have. So this is your goal for offsite SEO, because we just covered your goal for on-site SEO. how many number of pages of content that you need. So now we're going to go over how many backlinks that you need. So do the same thing with your top 5 or 10 competitors. Look at how many backlinks they have, how many linking websites that they have, and let me break down what these things mean. So domain rating. It's similar to PageRank that I've discussed earlier, except instead of like 0 to 10, it's 0 to 100, and it's on a logarithmic scale. And even a website that's like 41, that's already pretty darn good. So, I mean, like the most popular websites in the world are in the 90s. So don't think that, oh, like it's not like your grades in school where like you need a 70% to pass. Like 70% is wildly good. I think PR distribution had a domain rating of like 60, like 68 or 69. Um, and that was, yeah. And if you're a small business, just having a domain authority of like, you know, 20, 30 maybe already be pretty good for your industry, depending on how competitive that it is. Okay, so that's domain rating. Backlinks. So backlinks will always be higher than linking websites. Let me give you an example of how that's calculated. So let's say you have a website and they have 20 pages, and of 20 of those blog pages, they talk about your website. So then you will have 20 backlinks, okay? 20 links back to your website, but it's just one website. So you have one linking website. So that's why the backlinks is so much higher than linking websites, because linking website is unique to just one website versus you have many backlinks, especially if let's say the link is on like the header or footer where it's just repeated on literally every single page, then one website could give you a lot of backlinks. So both these are important, the backlinks and the linking websites. But usually when people refer to backlinks, they kind of group, these like together. People are aiming for linking websites more so than just backlinks specifically, but both are valuable. And what you want to do is research your 5-10 top competitors and figure out how many backlinks and link websites that they have, and then you can kind of reverse engineer that. And the way you would get backlinks is you can, through press releases is one way of doing that. You can do guest posting, which means that you're on someone else's website and you're contributing to it. You can also purchase these. They're called sponsored posts. And there's some other like ways of doing it, like that, like some forums let you like put your link in their signature, that kind of stuff. Although that's a little more antiquated. Social media profiles let you add like your website to it. There's like directories like Yelp, like the yellow pages. So these are just the different ways that you can do link building. And uh and yeah, the average of your competitors, or the aim for the highest of the competitor, if you really want to win, that's where you should strive for. Okay, so to just recap, we've gone over from very high level on-site SEO, off-site SEO, what they each mean in just plain, plain language, plain English, and how to find out exactly how much effort that you need for on-site SEO as far as the number of pages, and how much effort you need for offsite SEO, number of backlinks through link building that you will need to win at your SEO strategy. Okay, so hopefully this has answered a lot of those questions for you. And again, you can check out some of these tools that I've included by going to ryanhuang.io/tools, and it'll save you a lot of time actually. I mean, imagine counting like 2,500 backlinks. Like, how long would that take you, right? It'll take you a very long time. So this should save you massive amounts of effort, and this will give you just tremendous insight as far as what you need to win at the game of SEO. And these tools are available for free. Okay, so next, you can actually go to my website, ryanhuang.io, and you can download the PDF of this masterclass. It's completely free. You would have to create a sign in with your Google account or LinkedIn account or GitHub account, but it's free, and it's just like, you just click and it'll be available for download, and you can use it as a reference for yourself. You can print it out, you can share it with friends, colleagues, family, whoever. Do whatever you want with it. It's yours for free. And also, if let's say that you decide to hire an SEO company or hire an SEO guy or gal, you can share this with them so they can use it, to help them help you with your SEO. So that's the free gift I have for you. But I have another free gift. So what I said earlier is I also have an advanced SEO strategies masterclass where I will actually touch very high level strategies that include programmatic SEO strategies, that include user generated content strategies. So it's going to be very cool. And I use like real life, like big companies out there and really dissect what they're doing. So this is also available for free at ryanhuang.io/courses. Okay, ryanhuang.io/courses, completely free. There's more. Here's another free gift. So in the past, people have paid upwards of $500 an hour for my time. But today here, you can have direct access to me for free by joining my Codepreneurs community. So Codepreneurs, it's a community of coders, freelancers, agency owners, SaaS founders, and entrepreneurs that want to leverage digital marketing to help grow. And one of my missions for this community is to help. There's a lot of freelancers and agency owners, SaaS founders, where they're working a full-time job, but they want to go off and do things on their own. So I want to help 100,000 of these codepreneurs go from zero to $100,000, and I want to do this because it will be so meaningful for me. So and the more people we get join this community, the better. And of course, if you're already at or exceeding $100,000 per year, then I want to help you 10x. And I think we can do that because with digital marketing, especially if we use coding and programmatic marketing as levers, I mean there's so much leverage. As Alex Hormozy have quoted Archimedes, give me a long enough lever and I can move the world. And I really, and that really resonates with me. I want to really build out this community. So join the Discord. On the Discord, you can ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. And let's make this community happen. Hopefully, you found a lot of value from this masterclass, and it's free. And my goal is to build goodwill out there, help people out, and there's a lot of people that want to make money on their own, and if I can help save you a few weeks, a few months, or even a few years of time, especially for those who are determined to do it, I mean that would mean so much to me if I can help you out. And if I have helped you out, any comments or positive feedback, I mean that means the world to me. So share that with me. Let's connect through social media. Right now, I'm on LinkedIn, obviously YouTube, Twitter. I just signed up for Mastodon and of course Discord. And if you go to ryanhuang.io, I will have all these social handles there, and also I'll include all of them in the, or actually I'll include the website and also the Discord in the YouTube description below. But let's connect, and you can ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this masterclass, and hopefully I'll see you in the Discord or on social media, and let's go on this journey together. Let's help each other grow, and let's build out this community. It'll be very exciting, and I'm excited to see many of you succeed out there.